This playthrough is rated M for mature. Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare back here with another episode of AI, the Somnium Files. In the last episode, we dealt with the sunfish pocket or whatever mermaid staring at, hip bones all day, and then we went to the shrine, and Iris here told us why she wanted to be idle. Pretty selfish, really, when you think about it, because she wanted to be famous. So it just shows you the narcissistic ways of the teenager. But anyway, let's continue on. Shelves packed with cardboard boxes. The drum of oil.
You too.
Well, Aba said that right last time. I think so. I wonder if it does that if you didn't check that before, and then he still says that anyway, and you're like, I never said that. I don't know. I don't know how detailed the game is when it comes to that type of stuff. So, a forklift. The tires of the forklift in the ground are clearly frozen. Frozen by Mab herself. A hook is hanging from the ceiling. It is ceiling. A switchboard installed in the back of the warehouse.
Hey, get out of my house!
What the hell?
I'm a poltergeist inside the circuit board.
What?
You said I was a ghost, right? Maybe I'm haunting the warehouse with spooky astral projections.
What are you talking about, Iris?
I'm gonna call the Ghostbusters on you. Now, which one? I don't know. The Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters, that other... I don't even know if I want to call them Ghostbusters. Oh, well, no, there's also the Extreme Ghostbusters. And then that one group from a few years ago, everyone's already forgotten about them, so I don't even consider them part of the discussion. Switchboard installed. And apparently a thing for ghosts. Forklift. I don't see anything special about it. No. He feels bad about it. At least give him a participation award trophy. Nice cutting machine. It cuts the ice into small cubes. Yep, come on. There isn't a lot here. Just like our brain cavity. Box. Wooden box.
Pew pew!
What the hell?
The box made me think of, like, a giant robot.
A what?
You know, from kaiju movies.
Again, what?
How old is this girl again? 18? Seriously, you've got the brain capacity of a child. And I've seen some children who are smarter than that. She must have some, like...
That caramel over there looks so good!
Yeah, you're right. But if I tried to eat it in one bite, I'd break my jaw.
What are you talking about, Date? That's a cardboard box.
You started... Never mind.
She's probably got ADD or attention issues or something like that. Cardboard box that apparently was caramel, and then the girl's like, it's not caramel, and I'm like, I'm gonna slap the crap out of you.
So my corpse was on here?
Yeah.
It was. It's a workbench. There's nothing on it now, except pain and regret. And I guess that's it. Alright, let's look at the gal. Iris is standing there, staring at me like a stump on a log. What do you know about nanotechnology?
Nanotech? Yeah! Technology related to really small things. Like, really teeny tiny things. And when they make a machine, they're called nanomachines. I heard they use them a lot for medical and tech fields. Some of the cutting-edge nanomachines can even go inside your body and cure illnesses. They can even cure cancer. And they go beep, beep, beep. That's what Mom said. Well, I don't know if it was like beep, beep or rrr. But anyway, nanotechnology costs tons of money. Only a few people can even afford it. My college professor said only the richest of the rich have nanotechnology. But he's pretty liberal, so...
Largely accurate. Nano is a prefix meaning 10 to the negative 9th power. A nanometer is therefore 0.0000000001 meters. The sync machine uses machines approximately 2.16 nanometers long. Viruses are on average 20 to 970 nanometers, so sync nanomachines are far smaller than that. This allows them to access neural circuitry. During a sync, the nanomachines are used to write in the syncer's data.
So what you're telling me is nanomachines, son! What do you know about the widget system?
I guess not.
No, I know what it is. It's the core programming behind AI, right?
That's right. What's wrong?
What?
You're shivering.
It's nothing. Don't worry about it.
To borrow Pewter's explanation, with the advent of the Wadjet system, we can extract the data of the human psyche. This data is sent to the brain, which achieves the sync.
I see. Anyway, what do you know about BBB? Be back
I've heard of
before
it.
dead time?
The blood-brain barrier, right? Inside the skull, there's an army of little teeny tiny soldiers that surround the brain. They protect the brain from bad stuff in the blood, right?
That's almost it, yeah.
The blood-brain barrier describes the architecture of the microvessels of the brain. It is a kind of shield that protects the brain. To get through, an object must be no larger than 0.4 nanometers. Objects too large to slip through the barrier cannot physically access the brain.
I'm not familiar with a lot of brain surgery and stuff like that, so I'm a little out of my field when it comes to this. Here's how sync works.
Okay, you have the basics down. Let me explain how syncing works. Syncers like me equip the sync gear and use it to access the subject's brain. Inside the helmet are nanocables, and on the tip of each of these cables is a special nano machine. But the machine can't reach the brain through blood alone. Do you know why?
The BBB soldiers say go away and push them back?
Well, yeah, kind of. But for the sync to work, we have to get the nanomachines into the brain itself. How do we do that?
Drill a hole in the skull?
No.
In Shovel Forge, you can use a pickaxe and...
No, it has nothing to do with tools. We don't have to open a hole. Skulls already have holes in them. One of those holes is the optic canal, which is a nerve canal located behind the eyes. The nanocables of the sync gear go through your eyes, then go to the back of your eye socket, then through the optic canal to the sea.
The sea?
The sea of brain cells, anyway.
That sounds kind of romantic.
It's only a chunk of protein.
I agree with you there, Iba. Here's how syncing works, again. Keep going.
Once the nanocables arrive at their destination, they can begin the sync process. They slide into the brain like roots of a tree. And on the tip of each cable, the nanomachine sends and receives data. This is controlled by the Wadjet system. And that's how the syncer and the subject exchange information.
Exchange?
Think of it this way. The human brain has a max capacity of one psyche, one consciousness.
Multiple instances of consciousness inside one brain can cause a total collapse of higher brain functions.
You know how a car only has one steering wheel? If there were two, there would be accidents all over the place.
Well, don't some planes have 2 control sticks?
Okay, maybe it wasn't the best metaphor. What I'm trying to say is that the human body can only hold one person. If you try to have 2 people inside one brain, it will break.
I see.
Doesn't that whole destroy the whole concept of certain science fiction or fantasy games where they'll have people possessing you and having 2 people inside one body? So according to this game, that shouldn't even work, except through what they're doing here. But you know what I mean. It takes like something special to do it. Well, anyway, let's continue on.
Because of this, the syncer's data goes inside the subject's brain. And the only thing inside the subject's mind at the time of the sync are their memories. Like a house with no one inside. We syncers break into the house, look for clues, and leave. All within 6 minutes.
There's a time limit?
Yes, or else the house will collapse on our heads.
The neural circuits would become too deeply entwined with one another. To put it simply, the syncer would be trapped inside the subject's house.
She says that, but yet we're not actually explaining that to her, unless it is being explained, but Date's saying it when we're just cutting an extra step there just to not be redundant, which a lot of anime games and Japanese games are redundant quite often, to almost an annoying factor. But anyway, summarize it for me, warehouse lady. Oh, whoops, wrong button.
Thank you for explaining it. I don't completely understand how sync works, but still.
Just don't tell anyone. This is extremely confidential.
It's okay, I won't. Date, tell me this. Who did you sync with yesterday?
Didn't I show you his picture? Congressman So Sejima.
So that's why you know so much about him.
But you've never met him, right?
I haven't, I swear.
Wait, we're summarizing again? The heck's up with that? Quit tricking me, game.
Hey, Date. You saw my corpse here, right?
I did. I'm sure of it.
And in SoStream, you saved me from getting killed.
Yeah.
And then somehow, I resurrected.
Yeah.
Date, that means you're... Achoo!
Date, is the cold too much for Iris?
Yeah, I'm freezing too. Iris, let's get out of here for now.
Roger that.
Was she gonna say we were God or something like that? Well, of course we are. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but we don't want to tell anyone. We don't want to make the other religions jealous. You know. Anyway, time to the Matsuhita Shida Diner on Monday. We're still on Monday. We haven't gone to the next day yet.
Ah, I'm so hungry.
Tessa? Why are you here?
I told Date I was hungry, so...
I've always wanted to eat here.
I'll have my usual, Ota.
Yes, right away.
Oda flew into the kitchen. Like a high on a flash. Iris watched him go and took a seat. He wanted to impress Iris with so he's quick as a flash. I was trying to do a rhyme there, but I kind of lost track of it. Alright, once again. Although we haven't been to this one in a while, so... Lucky cat.
Meow.
Huh?
What are you doing?
Oh, you don't know? It's good luck to imitate a cat in front of one of these.
Really?
Meow? Guess I'll have good luck.
Well, hopefully you won't have good luck. Oh, I mean, I didn't say that out loud. Disposable chopsticks.
Salt, pepper, a blend of red cayenne and spices, and an unidentified liquid.
Mayumi's juice with mold.
Ew. Well, we eat mold if we eat cheese, so there's a menu on the table.
Kuroda Kazuaki's grilled tongue with salt.
Grilled tongue, like cow tongue or something? Maybe. I've heard people eating cow tongues and stuff like that. Because why not? Use up all the animal. And no, I'm not joking. Like, I'm one of those people that's not a fan of hunters if they hunt for sport. If they hunt for food and all that, then I'm fine with it because they're actually utilizing the animal kind of like native cultures would, so.
That's a Martian.
That's just a stool.
Yeah, not that type of stool, but it is a stool. A round chair. Chair, stool, whatever. That's the human language for you. A stool. Got so many words for like the same gosh darn thing. A bookshelf. It's got stickers on the inside of it. Stickers. You collect stickers. An old CRT television.
Hey, Date. I've got this video of girls in bikinis washing this armored car. Wanna watch?
Absolutely not.
Well, now. We'll watch it later. A CRT TV. Nothing's playing on it. Menus written on the wall on Tenzuki paper. A beer ad on the wall.
Date, you're drooling.
Oh, I'm just really hungry.
Yeah, hungry for beer with a cute girl in the front, yeah, in a two-piece. Let's see. Yeah, something. Iris, you'll have to aspire to something like that. Otherwise, anyway.
Oh, that's Payashi Samba's Hayashi Vangole.
Who?
Yeah, some celebrity signatures. And another beer poster. The mop, the greatest mop ever. Don't want to take it away though. Stan Statowski or whatever will get mad.
Hey, Tessa, could you kick that bucket there?
Sure. Like this?
Yeah, but more.
Like this?
This is awesome!
I did not realize there was someone more perverted than Date.
Well, I mean, that I'm actually flabbergasted because I have no idea where the perversion is from her kicking a bucket. I don't know, maybe femdom stuff. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. That counter. Maybe it's something that's Japanese specifically. I don't know. Let's see. Jump decks, table. Where's the dumpy mom, though? We want to talk to dumpy mom. A family photo. Yeah, probably asleep. Apparently Oda knows how to cook, so I guess the boy ain't accords his phone.
Ring, ring. Who's on the phone?
Who cares?
Oh, calm down, ho. I mean, Iris. I don't know why I said that. I was just trying to say something shocking, just for, the swinging door. And more menu, posters. Oh, low table. It's how low can you go, folks? Sitting.
Dante, wanna have a pillow fight?
Tessa, not in the store, please.
But you wanted her to kick buckets. Alright, whatever. It says good luck. Good luck. It's only good luck if it's said in that like weird synthetic voice from Star Fox 64. Or Star Fox. It's November, but the calendar says January. Looking closely at it, even the year is wrong. This is old. An old calendar on the wall. Alright, let's talk to the usual suspects, I guess. Oda is cooking in the kitchen. But, oh yeah, I was about to say he's not completely worthless. He actually knows how to cook. That's actually kind of a rarity for guys like him. Iris is sitting in front of me. What's your usual?
Omelet rice. Ota's omelet rice is so good it gives me stomach cramps.
Is that a compliment?
You're embarrassing me.
Well, Ota appears to have taken it as a compliment.
Didn't someone else in the game mention they liked omelet rice? Yeah, you and that lady from Sakura Wars would get along swimmingly. I've already forgotten her name, though. You've been here before?
Yeah, I have.
Have you met Ota's mother, Mayumi?
Yeah, but I don't think she likes me.
That's not true. Mom is just jealous of how pretty you are, Tessa.
Not very reassuring. Whether out of jealousy or otherwise, she still doesn't like Iris.
Yeah, didn't she call her like a succubus or something like that? Well, at least she called her succubus and not something... Actually, wouldn't the succubus technically be worse despite our inclinations that the other words would be worse? Anyway. But Iris's resurrection.
Iris, about your coming back to life.
Hold it! What do you mean coming back to life?
I decided to tell Ota about Iris's resurrection. He's telling everyone! What's wrong with you, Date? You're a terrible cop.
Date jumped into a parallel world where I'm still alive.
Tessa died?
Yep.
I think he's depressed now. Oh, or he's always like that. He is a millennial, so... Oh, whoops, sorry, wrong button. Where's your mom? Where's the hotness?
She's in the living room. I think she's watching TV.
How about you? What are you doing here?
I was just doing some meditation, lying on the ground.
He means sleeping.
Date, why are you with Tessa?
She's blackmailing me.
We are
Not Shovel Forge.
on a date.
Oh, a date. Huh. A date?
I'm on an investigation, and she wouldn't let me go.
Date, I have some delicious fugu eggs. I promise they're not poisoned. Would you like some?
No thanks. I'm fine.
Are you threatening me with murder, kid? I mean, you know, just because you simp for someone doesn't mean you're gonna get anything from it. You're good at cooking, huh?
Yeah. My dad taught me when I was little.
You're making me something too, right?
Sure. My treat, Date.
Even after everything? Yeah, that's the problem with asking some of these questions in a certain order. They seem kind of like weird, other than the tonal shift of certain questions. But anyway, where's Renju? Swear to me!
You're still looking for him? Well, like I told you before, I don't know.
What good are you? Cap. Oh, I was about to say, are we done with summarizing it? Or, never mind. About the parallel world.
Hey, can you tell me about this parallel world idea in more detail?
Oh, sure. How should I explain this? Well, Oh, I know. Let's play rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, if we tie, nothing happens. We just shake hands. If I win, you have to give me something.
What if I win?
I'll do anything.
Anything?
Mm-hmm. Anything.
Date, your heart rate is rapidly increasing. Why exactly is that?
All right, let's do this.
Okay, let's go! 1, 2, 3, shoot!
This is creepy as fuck. Sorry. Just when Dante was like, don't give in to this temptress, dude. We've been trying to ignore that fact. I don't know. What it Japanese again? It's like Jinko. It's basically paper rock scissors, which I have no idea what the obsession with paper rock scissors is in a lot of these anime either. Must be something cultural or something like that. I don't know. Let's go with rock. Nothing beats good old rock.
Shoot!
Tie.
The most boring result. Well, we agreed on the rules. Let's shake hands. Shaky, shaky.
I shook hands with Iris. I wonder if
We
it's
just played rock, paper, scissors, right? We tied and shook hands. But in a different timeline, maybe I got a reward from you. Or maybe you could have seen me naked or something.
Why did I choose rock?
What exactly were you going to make her do?
So those timelines are what I'd call a parallel world.
So you think I jumped from a world in which you were dead to this one where you're alive?
That's what I think.
Huh. Parallel world, huh? I can't believe it, but...
Sure you can. Parallel worlds exist. Do you know about the Mandela effect? Or the Booba Kiki effect? Or the 100 million balls? If I explain that, would you believe me?
Sounds really interesting, Tessa. I know some urban legends like that. The spatial temporal man, and the lost friend, and the story of two sisters.
I've heard people talking about it. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard the Mandela effect, the fact that basically it's like we think we remember something and then we're shown the truth and we're like, it was never like that to begin with, but because of either our brains or cultural lie, well, I don't know if lies would be, the cultural misremembering, you know, kind of like the phone game where you tell someone something, you try to pass it down the line, and at some point someone slowly alters it because either they generally want to troll someone or they generally forgot what it was saying and so forth and so on. So I'm trying to think what the best example of the Mandela effect. I think it's the Berenstain, I think, is the best example. The Berenstain Bears. Everyone thinks, and I thought this as a kid too. I thought it was Berenstain, but it's Berenstain Bears. And when I found that, I was like, really? I always thought it was Stein. But no, it's Stain, Berenstain Bears. So yeah, there you go. At least that's the best example I have of that. I mean, there's obviously other examples. That's just the one that comes to mind. What was the other one? I think Beam Me Up, Scotty, from Star Trek is another one. I don't think he ever says that. Something like that. Anyway, let's ask about the different effects. Well, she's going to explain the Mandela effect, I guess. But anyway, spatial temporal man.
Yeah, it's sort of like a common experience. A lot of people have experienced waking up in an uninhabited world they've never seen before. And most of them describe seeing the same person. The spatial temporal man. He's supposed to be an ordinary old man wearing work clothes. The spatial temporal man guides people back to the real world. He tells them, this world is not for you, or something.
I'd like to meet him someday.
Sounds like a freak. I mean, anyway, what about the others?
So, this elementary school kid, let's call him C. He goes to school and there's a bunch of things on the floor. Postcards, towels, a coffee cup, rice bowls, a sink, lots of stuff. But C realized that those were all things from his own house.
How did they get to the classroom?
No one knows. It's not like anyone did it on purpose or there was a thief or anything.
Maybe something happened that made two parallel worlds fuse.
Yeah, maybe.
Either that or people are mentally deranged. So, I don't know. I'm one of those people that just... the mind is such a confusing thing that we can... There's so many different diseases and mental orders and mental disorders and stuff like that. Like, when people say they've seen something like ghosts and stuff like that, I immediately disregard it because one, there's no actual proof, and like I said, two, because of the way the mind works, it could easily fabricate that stuff because of either stress or whatever. So, I mean, not saying there's no fun in like hearing these stories just because people find stuff to do, but if people generally believe it, I'm like, oh, okay, no. Anyway, the two sisters.
So, there's this girl. Let's call her B. She's practicing piano in her room, and her little sister is watching TV in the same room. B asks her to turn the TV volume down so she can hear her piano playing, you know? So B goes back to practicing, playing a little bit. But her sister doesn't turn the volume down. She's not listening at all. So B turns around to scold her. She was really gonna let her sister have it. But she's gone. She's nowhere to be seen. She thinks, I wonder where she went. But then B hears her sister at the door. I'm home. B runs to the front door and sees her sister and her parents standing there. So B asks, when did you go outside? But her mom says, what are you talking about? She went shopping with me. B is really confused by all of this, of course. She asks her little sister about it, and she learns that her favorite TV show was on. And before she went shopping with her mom, she was deciding whether or not she wanted to stay and watch it or not.
So depending on her decision, a parallel world was made.
Yeah. What B saw might have been from the world where her sister stayed behind.
I have heard of about the scientific community talking about the possibility of multiple worlds, mainly because of the fact there's really no way to straight up. I don't know off the top of my head who's the best person to talk to about that. I've just heard about it before, but yeah, it's something where they can't scientifically prove it's not possible, so they always throw it in there as well until we can prove it. It's always a possibility. Same with aliens and outer space and stuff like that. But anyway, the lost friend.
There's this kid, A. He's in elementary school. Well, A had this close friend named Suzuki. One day, after school, they're walking home together. A turns around to tell Suzuki a joke, and Suzuki is laughing his butt off. And he's laughing, and he laughs so hard that his eyes fall out of their sockets.
What?
Well, they were hanging down out of his eye sockets. The nerves were still connected, but A is of course in shock and doesn't know what to do. Suzuki just takes his eyeballs and jams them back into his eye sockets and keeps walking like nothing happened. So A asks him about it. Like, hey, are you okay? Your eyes fell out. A is really concerned for his friend, you know? But Suzuki just says, yeah, I'm fine. He doesn't say anything about it. And by now, A is really curious. But he's not getting any answers. So they just part ways and go home. The story only gets weirder from here. The next day, A goes to school, and Suzuki's not there. A is confused and asks his teacher about it. Hey, where's Suzuki today? And the teacher says, Suzuki? Who's that? There's no Suzuki in this class. A says, what are you talking about? And he goes and asks all of his classmates about Suzuki. They all say the same thing. I don't know him. There's no Suzuki in this class.
So that kid must have jumped into a parallel world without Suzuki.
That's what I think.
I wonder if I should have asked him. Oh, okay, I was about to say anything else. I wonder if that's an extra story based off that similar concept. So
I know a ton of stories like this. Like being suddenly transported 1 year into the future, and there's a missing persons report out for you. You look down at your phone, but you realize that it's not yours. It's not the one you remember having. You look through the contacts, and it's filled with names you don't recognize.
Sounds scary.
There's more, too. Like this town where everyone is Japanese, but they're speaking a completely different language. And all the signs and magazines and stuff have different letters. And it's not like Korea or China. It's the Japan we know, but the language is different.
That's a prime example of a parallel world.
I was actually going to make a bad joke about, like, they say it's not Japan, it's like Japan, but different. I'm like, what, China? But the game already said that for me, so never mind. Yeah, I know that was bad. That was a bad joke, but anyway, the lost friend.
Couldn't Suzuki just be an imaginary friend or something?
No, A was really serious about remembering Suzuki.
It is weird. And there's no way you can pop your eyeballs back in like that.
Well, not necessarily. There's such a thing as a dislocated eye. It actually isn't too hard to put your eye back in if it falls out.
Ota is correct. Dislocated eyes are easy to replace in their sockets. As long as none of the nerves or blood vessels were damaged, there are usually no lasting negative effects either.
But that doesn't prove this Suzuki exists.
Well, I guess not, but...
You're asking Oda to, like, just try to see reason to local folklore and stuff like that, or tales on the street. I know there's people that can pop their eyeballs out, but not completely out, which is freaky if you ever see a video on people who can actually do that. Whee! It sounds scary. Oda is quietly making omelet rice in the kitchen. Oh, well, we're done with that story, so let's do Iris's little tales. The Booba or Kiki effect? I've never actually heard of that before.
Dante, look at this picture.
Iris pulled up a picture on her phone. I don't know why it took me a second
There's
to
a
read
famous
that.
experiment regarding this picture. You show this image to people around the world and ask a question. Which one is Booba and which one is Kiki? Believe it or not, 98% of people asked have the same answer. The rounder one is Booba and the jagged one is Kiki. Isn't that weird? In other words, everyone thinks that Booba is a certain way and Kiki is the other. It applies universally across languages and cultures. It's like something ingrained inside all humans.
I think I've heard that before, but I don't think it was called the Booba or Kiki effect. I think it was called something else. And shouldn't the game have let us choose which one was which, just to kind of get our thoughts on it? Like, maybe I would have chosen the Booba as the round thing, but you answered it so quickly that I didn't really have a chance to really think about it. So now I'm like tainted, if you know what I mean. But I thought they were going to ask the whole "is this a white dress or green dress" question. God, that's an old reference. Well, not that old, but you know what I mean. In internet years, it is. Let's ask again about that.
Like worshipping the sun and the sea. Or thinking that the mother is soft and the father is jagged. Regardless of your culture or background, you probably think this way. It's what Jung called the collective unconscious. There exists a second psychic system of a collective, universal, and impersonal nature, which is identical in all individuals. That's what Jung said about it. Think of it like bamboo. Bamboo stalks look like individual plants since they're separated. But underground, they're all connected. Human psyches might be like that too, connected at a subconscious level. That's...
The parallel world?
Yeah! You saved me in the dream, right? And dreams are all about our subconscious minds. So if you follow the roots...
You get to another bamboo stalk.
Yeah, something like that.
We're getting into Persona territories level here with Young and all that, where we gotta do the shadows and all this other stuff. But wouldn't Young's idea, I mean, I understand what Young's idea is, but couldn't that also be relegated down to social engineering and study and education? You know, the fact that a lot of societies study the same thing, so that's why we're relegated to think very similar because of that. So individuality is lost on a scale because of that, especially with public schools and stuff like that. Anyway, that's the ever questions of environmental society and so forth and so on. 100 million balls? Gross.
This world is full of really interesting stuff. But you know the most interesting thing of all?
No, what?
That humans exist at all.
The universe developed in a very particular way to get here. If things were even slightly different, well, the galaxies and solar system and all of that might not have existed at all.
And that means humans would never be born. And even if everything happened exactly like that, the probability of human life developing is extremely low. And yet, here we are.
Here we are screwing up our own world because of our mentality about things. Anyway, sorry. Didn't want to go into that. Just had to reference that. But why 100 million balls, though?
It Imagine a box full of ping pong balls, labeled 1 to 100 million. Would you be able to pick out the one?
Not likely.
But what if there were 100 million of you?
Well, then one of us would definitely pick up the one.
Exactly! The birth of humanity is so improbable that it's basically a miracle. But if there were multiple universes...
Then it wouldn't be strange that at least one of them had humans in it.
She is describing the anthropic principle. I may have underestimated her intelligence.
I'm vaguely aware of that idea, but that's something I haven't heard of in like years, easily like decades even, because it's not something that's talked about regularly, at least not in the circles I'm in. But then again, it's not like I'm hanging around science circles either, but it's not something that's actively talked about in the communities I'm aware of. But anyway, the Mandela effect, which this one I'm a bit
Do you
more
know
aware of.
Nelson Mandela?
Well, yeah. The former president of South Africa. He helped abolish apartheid.
He died in 2013, but a strange thing happened. When the news broke, people all over the world thought, didn't Mandela die in prison in 1980? That's the Mandela effect. It's when your memory and history have discrepancies.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought they were going to continue on. Yeah, like I was mentioning, like I'm more familiar with it in pop culture, but yeah, you could put that to a lot of things.
There are lots of examples. Like the name of this kid's book with the bears having different spellings. Or people remembering that Kennedy was assassinated in a 4-seat car. But in our world, he was in a 6-seat car.
Huh. I thought it was a 4-seater too.
Or that electric mouse from that video game. You probably remember the tip of its tail being black.
It wasn't?
Nope, it's all yellow. And the design didn't change.
Oh.
Lines from movies, company logos, historical events, and little things. The Mandela effect is everywhere. Why do you think that is?
Because those memories are from parallel worlds?
That would explain it, I guess.
Well, it's kind of funny that the game specifically brings up the Berenstain Bears books example that I brought up earlier, but the Pikachu one, and I know why they're not mentioning Pikachu specifically. I never knew that people thought his tail, the tip of his tail, was black. It was always yellow. I don't know why people thought it was black at one point. Maybe someone saw some like concept art, or someone drew it wrong on the internet or something like that, and that's why people thought that. So anyway, we've had a very heady episode for this, so let's summarize it and then call it a day.
When did you two get so knowledgeable?
Oh, I don't know.
Tessa is always writing about this stuff on the internet. That's why I decided to research it too. That's how I learned all this stuff. Oh, hey, I know about conspiracies and secret societies too. I find that stuff fascinating. If you want, we could talk about those.
Maybe next time. Now where's that omelet rice?
Done!
Oda brought the dish over. He laid out an omelet rice in front of me and Iris. Iris grabbed her spoon with a huge smile on her face.
Bon appetit!
Made me want to punch it. She picked up a spoonful. No, actually, she tried to pick up a spoonful.
Tessa, are you okay?
I'm fine. My hand slipped. Let's eat.
Iris and I ate the omelet rice in near silence. There was no conversation. Just the sound of the spoon hitting the plate. The diner echoed with it. And before long...
Ah, thanks for the food.
Iris was totally re-energized. Her face was back to her usual easy smile.
That was good. Ota, your omelet rice is seriously the best.
Yeah, it was actually really good.
Aw, thanks. I owe it to my dad. He taught me well.
I paid for the food and stood to go.
Let's get going, Iris.
Thanks again.
Thank you. Come back soon.
Oh, anything else? Oda's standing next to Iris. Iris is sitting in front of me. Oh, that whole situation with dinner? It's probably nothing. Just a singular incident. That and the temple thing as well. Also a singular incident. Has nothing to do with anything at all. Not foreshadowing. Not in the slightest. But anyway, where will we go next? Is this the end of our date? And what about the mystery that we've been trying to solve? Have we just thrown that to the wayside? Find out next time in the next episode of AI, the Somnium Files. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you next time.